It is March. We are here, but we have one more day of SEC men's basketball going on today to close out the regular season before we head up to Nashville next week for a fantastic week of the SEC men's basketball tournament. We're already looking forward to that, but before we get there, we have some games to determine seeding and big implications. So let's take a look at the rundown for SEC men's basketball on this final Saturday of the regular season. Number 20 Arkansas at Missouri. John Calipari playing for his 900th career win. Right now, he's tied with Bob Knight for fifth most all-time wins at 899. And this is a matchup that is not just about John Calipari, but 2 weeks ago, the Hogs won by 8 in Fayetteville over the Tigers. So Missouri trying to get some revenge. That takes place today. Arkansas at Missouri. Definitely watching that game. Not as many people will be watching South Carolina at Ole Miss. Those are two of the bottom three teams in the league. Two teams we know we will see on Wednesday in the SEC tournament, but the Gamecocks playing at Ole Miss, both teams with something to prove, trying to finish the regular season on a good note today. Continuing some of the rivalries going on, Vandy at Tennessee. Ooh, that first meeting, 4 point game in Nashville. What a game. This one in Knoxville is going to be just as good, if not better. Tennessee seeking its fifth straight 22 win season in a row, and Vanderbilt trying to end up on the right side. They are tied for fifth with four other teams in the league. And so they want that fifth place spot, as do all three other teams tied with them. So a lot on the line. However, that fifth place team is going to end up playing Florida on Friday. So something to keep an eye on as Vanderbilt travels to Knoxville today. Georgia at Mississippi State. Georgia is looking for its third straight win. Of course, they got a big midweek victory over the Alabama Crimson Tide. That game was in Athens. They beat South Carolina prior to that. So Georgia trying to continue its quality play as they enter postseason play next week in Nashville. Florida at Kentucky. This is the game of the day in the SEC. All eyes on this one. Otega Oweh's final home game as a Kentucky Wildcat. And how do the Wildcats of Kentucky respond after the midweek loss on Tuesday at Texas A&M? We know how good Florida is. In fact, they are 7.5 point favorites on the road in Rupp Arena. Florida's playing well. We think we know how this one's going to go, but you never know. Kentucky could rally behind Mark Pope and Otega Oweh and some of those guys on senior day, so something to keep an eye out on, but I do like Florida in this one. Texas A&M at LSU, so same matchup for the Aggies and the Tigers that started conference play will now complete conference play and the regular season. A&M won by 3 at the start of January and conference play this year. LSU is trying to finish above 500. They're knotted up at that 15-15 mark, so they want to get on the right side. But A&M, another one of those teams tied for fifth in conference play, trying to get the best seed possible and the best matchup possible going into Nashville next week. Oklahoma at Texas today. We talk about it being rivalries. We'll talk about Auburn at Alabama in a moment. But number 12 in the league, Oklahoma, and Texas is tied for ninth. So more implications, but I don't really even think they're considering seeding. This is just a good old-fashioned rivalry game between two teams that are really going to want it. This one being played in the Moody Center. Auburn at Alabama. I'm looking forward to being in Tuscaloosa later tonight for this one. Always a classic when these two teams. Alabama did not win in Tuscaloosa last year. However, they won in Auburn. Alabama won in Auburn earlier this season, but trying to get back and get its first win in Tuscaloosa in 2 years. And last time Auburn lost in Tuscaloosa to the Crimson Tide, Aiden Holloway was playing for Auburn, so something to keep an eye on there. Auburn trying to make one final push. We all know they're on the outside of the bubble right now looking in. This would be a significant win for them, but Alabama in its final regular season game, of course, playing at home. We look at the last matchup. Auburn was outscored on bench points. Alabama won that by an advantage of 28-7, and Auburn did out-rebound Alabama. Now, Charles Bediako did play that game, but Stephen Pearl says that he thinks Bama has played better prior to and after the Charles Bediako saga. So he thinks that Bediako actually hurt them despite Alabama beating his Auburn Tigers in Neville Arena just a few weeks ago. So Alabama trying to solidify that 2 spot with a win over the Tigers. And what better way for Alabama to try and close its regular season than beating the Auburn Tigers in Coleman Coliseum. That's a look at SEC Saturday. We're excited about it and appreciate everybody checking out this video. I'm William Galloway. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I will see you again soon here on this page. Have a great day and go SEC and roll tide.